Los Malditos Nerds entrevistamos a Mike Gamble y Fabrice Condominas, los productores de la próxima entrega de la saga Mass Effect. Micaela Mantegna los sorprende metiéndose en el personaje de Carissa Al-Gilani, la reportera más molesta en toda la ciudadela, y les arranca varias sonrisas y muchas respuestas sobre uno de los juegos más esperados del 2017, Mass Effect Andromeda.
Carissa Al-Gilani, nice to meet you.
Hi.
Hi, nice to meet you. Please don't punch me yet. I have my renegade sign over here. Just wait. Please don't punch me yet. Humanity has some questions for you.
Okay. All right.
Just to break the ice, we have in good faith from a journalistic source that there may be a hidden Cerberus spy among the Andromeda initiative. Can you comment on that?
Oh, no, not to our knowledge.
I'm a meeting reporter.
Yes, of course you are. Not to our knowledge do we know about any Cerberus spy within the Andromeda, but you never know. There are many stowaways upon the Ark which we haven't found out yet.
If we knew, there wouldn't be very good spies.
Exactly. Yeah.
Thank you. Regarding the aspect of the playable characters, are we going to have like a huge range of customization options for a rider, no matter if they are female or male? Is it going to influence the other twin on how our father looks like? Can we customize both twins?
So yes, to different level of depth, but yes, you can customize the siblings. So obviously your character is the one you go deeper on that, and for your twin, you got basically two options: whether you choose to let the game adjust based on the customization you did of the main character, or you can also go a bit deeper manually with your siblings.
That's awesome! Many hairstyles to come.
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely. Are you any plans to turn Mass Effect Andromeda, or at least some side quests, into a virtual reality experience?
We don't plan on it right now. The game is scheduled to come out for the major platforms and PC, but you never know. I mean, if the response is really strong once we release, there are definitely some areas in the game that we have in mind that would work really well with VR. And who knows, maybe if the opportunity came up, we could turn those areas into VR experiences. Like, we're not against it at all.
What we wouldn't do is actually just port a part of the game and copy paste it to a VR experience. We figured that VR is interesting if it's built for VR.
Mm-hmm. But that will be a very interesting feature, very immersive feature for us gamers. Yeah, we would love to explore Andromeda on a VR headset.
Especially the way that the Tempest is right now. I mean, being able to be immersed in space and look out the window and see space and all the planets in front of you and walk around your ship, it would be a really cool option if we ever had the chance to do it.
That would be very awesome. Since Baldur's Gate and the Sons of Val storyline, BioWare has a great tradition of brothers and sisters trying to interfere with our main character. In Mass Effect Andromeda, are there any other rider siblings that we are not aware of?
Not that we've announced, not that we plan on announcing. No, we want to focus the story mostly around Scott and Sarah. Those are the ones, the major players in the game. You'll just have to play the game and find out if there's anything else.
Yeah, we were just asking because of those conspiracy theories about evil siblings all around. Yeah. We don't know, maybe Alec Ryder isn't their father at all, and we have like a kind of I am your father revelation.
No, absolutely Alec Ryder is your father. I'll confirm that right now.
We know that the collector edition includes a Pyjak pet. Are there going to be any other pets available for purchase or find while exploring?
There's tons of different perks that are available to find when you're exploring. The Pyjaks, just a fun little thing that we thought we'd bring back in, and that's part of the
I love the Pyjaks.
They're super cute. They're really cute. I mean, and there's other things for you to find. And the Pyjaks themselves, they aren't adding a significant narrative arc to the game or anything. It's not like we're doing that. It's more just a fun little thing. And there are equal things for you to just explore and find.
We love as gamers, we all love that detail, that love that you put on the history, like the space hamster that we have in the previous games. So it's very welcome.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, that's exactly it. The space hamster was let's say the inspiration for the Pyjack.
In the gameplay trailer, there are several climate effects shown. Are they going to affect the gameplay in any way?
We call them hazards. So most of these worlds that you encounter will have various different levels of hazards on them. Some will be global, like they will be like a snowstorm. And that will affect you gameplay-wise, and then some will be local, like a toxic sulfuric pool, like what you saw in the gameplay. So those will affect the gameplay. But what you can do is you can use your abilities, and you can use your progression systems to get gear and armor and things, which will allow you to navigate those hazards better. So yeah, there is a tie between gameplay and the weather stuff.
But they do have an impact on how you play across those games.
You are going to need to gather some resources to overcome the obstacles.
Yeah, I mean, whether it's collecting some resources, to crafting something that's better, or to buying something that's better in a store, or to finding something better in a cave, whatever it is, like, we don't want to force the players to have to craft everything. That's it's more, there's different ways to find these things in general.
Yeah. Now that the Paragon and Renegade choices are gone, thank you very much. How is going to work the new morality system?
Well, I mean, the morality system is still there. It's just not in a dichotomy. It's just not in a black or white sort of mentality. It is more, you make choices. Those choices have certain tones and certain flavors to them, and the way that those choices are made are reflected later on. It's less about making a good choice or a bad choice. It's more about making the best choice for you as an individual in a situation, right? So it is still there, but it's very different in terms of how we show it.
Okay, it's just not, you're not going to answer which is the best.
Absolutely
the good
not.
and the bad answer. Okay, that's very cool.
Well, we can't answer that because it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. Like
there is no wrong or right choice, right?
That's very nice. Just the choice that is more suitable for your gameplay.
Yeah, exactly. For you as a player and for the situation that you're in, right?
The estimate ship date of the art book of Mass Effect Andromeda is set to March 21 next year on the BioWare store. Yeah, we have been doing some research. So do we have to have that date on mind as a possible launch time for the game?
Well, I mean,
anything in spring is possible.
Yeah, so whenever you consider spring to start to whenever you consider spring to end, that one of those days in there is our release date.
Okay, you got me there. Since the support staff of the ARC is comprised of a variety of Milky Way races, and the launching of the Andromeda initiative takes place just before the Reaper invasion, between the events of Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3, are there any familiar characters from the trilogy that have chosen to jump on the ARCs?
That's a story detail that we don't want to talk about. Yeah, there's that would give away a lot. Needless to say, for the characters, for the people who care about immersing themselves in the mythology and the lore of Mass Effect, there will be many things for you to discover.
That's very awesome. Andromeda is like a fearsome and unsettling new environment with a lot of perils and new enemies awaiting. What can we tell us about the Get? Will there squad mates at any point of the game?
Yeah, again, I don't want to talk too much about who the squad mates are specifically, but the Kets, obviously they're an aggressive species, and as the game plays out and as you play through the story, you discover more about their motivations, you discover more about why they're there and what they're going after. And not all Ket just want to murder. Like that's not their intention. They're an intelligent species that you have to navigate both politically and through force. Really, at this point, that's probably as deep as we'll go. Obviously, the Ket are there's different layers of their political hierarchy and everything, and they've got that complexity. But as you play, you'll see more of that, and we want to keep something as a surprise, because there are a few surprises with Ket.
Absolutely, I love the design with all the bone armor over here. I was researching about the designs. It looks very organic, with all the bone structure going up on the head. It's very nice, very good job on there.
Yeah, I'm glad you called that out. The organic nature of the Ket, and how they don't have a lot of plated armor, but they're more organic with bone. That's a big part of who they are, and what that factors into the story very well.
Yeah, I was wondering about their motivations, because those kind of armor, if it is like your natural environment, that means that your race needs to fight. If you have like an internal armor, that means something.
Yeah.
I love this one. We all love the Afterlife and Purgatory clubs from the previous games. We spent so much time there. Thank you very much. Rumor has it that the Nexus has his own party's hard scene called the Vortex Lounge. What can you tell us about? Can we expect to encounter exotic dancers from another races, maybe a Hanar dancer?
Hanar dancer.
Do you really want to see that?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, the excitement that you've seen in the previous kind of bars, we've captured that, and there's not just one. There are numerous ones in the game. You can expect to see a similar sort of flavor in the ones in Andromeda.
That'd be awesome. Fundamentally, are the twins going to be better at dancing than Shepard?
I hope not, because I thought the Shepherd Shuffle was awesome.
Shepherd Shuffle was awesome. Indeed, yes. One more about combat. The gameplay trailer looks really spectacular on combat. We have seen a combination of weapons, biotic skills, and melee weapons. How is that going to work in a more vertical environment, in combination with the jetpack jumping and the evasion moves?
So overall, the combat, as you mentioned, is way more dynamic, and one element of it is the verticality for sure, and the addition of jump changed radically the way that you approach combat. And you had a glimpse of that in the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, but it's actually pushed even further in larger combat spaces and larger areas. The first thing, I think the key thing, is that you're not anymore the traditional stop and go in the third-person cover shooter, because of that, the verticality. So the tactics around it are fairly different. The other important thing is the movement. So you mentioned the evades, and I think that entire game pushes you to be in constant movement, and staying still is probably the deadly thing to do in that game. So it will be way more dynamic, but it will also be way more accessible for someone who's not a combat expert and wants to go there. There is also some layers of accessibility that will make it enjoyable, even for someone who's not necessarily into combat and more from the narrative aspect of the game.
Are we going to have the similar classes like Infiltrator?
So one of the difference in the progression system is that you don't actually commit to a class when you create your character. Nobody will ask you for a class. So you will have access to all the skills after a certain amount of time, because all that is gated. So depending on what you do and where you are in the game, you will have access to all the skills, but they're not constrained to class. That being said, we do have something that we internally call the profiles, which are type of classes that you can choose while playing the game. You can switch from one another, and they come with preset skills, and you only access them if you invest enough points in a certain skill. So if you invest in a weapon, you will unlock a soldier profile, which gives you some advantages. But the other important point is that you can switch profile during the game. So from a mission to another, you can decide that profile A is more suited than profile B and switch from one to another.
That's very interesting. I used to play with Infiltrator, and it was not suitable for all missions, so that is a very welcome modification.
Exactly.
I was going ask you about the crafting process, but you already answered that, because one little thing, are we going to be able to customize the Nomad? Like pimp up my Nomad.
Certain aspects of it, yes. So you'll be able to customize the paint job, basically. I mean, we are already offering a couple of those. There are some customizations that will be for gameplay purposes. but we aren't customizing, like a new body for it or like a new set of tires. It is, the Nomad's iconic. It is a beautiful thing. We love it very much, and we don't want people to be able to change that.
I'm already waiting for the RC control one.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
We had it in the office this week actually in Montreal. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to steal that. Now, the moment that everyone in our viewers was waiting and was expecting, who cares if Shepard is alive? Well, I do care, but I'm not going to ask you anyway because I know that you can tell. But I want to ask you about romance. Yeah. What can we expect in this new game regarding the choice for female or male protagonists? Are going to be some casual flirts or long-time relationships? And mostly, can we romance a Krogan? Please say yes. Please say yes.
I'm not answering the Krogan one, so that's a surprise. But there's both. There's casual flirts present throughout the game for many characters. That's part of the dynamic of talking to them. And then there's also long-term, more romantic things. And I will say that the romances for MEA, they are deeper than the trilogy romances. We've done a lot more with them. We've put a lot more writing time and conversation time into them. There's a lot more opportunity for you to talk to them and have them, comment on various things that have happened in the game. We're actually pretty proud of the romances right now. I think they're going to stand on their own very well.
Yeah, romance is like a kind of staple of BioWare games. So.
Yeah, exactly. They're part of the DNA of the games that we make, and we're really proud of this set.
Yeah. I have like a final question. Did the Andromeda Initiative recruits manage to smuggle some Fornax magazines into the ship?
That's a really good idea, actually. If we don't have that, we should look at they've smuggled in a couple things, maybe Blastos, maybe Fornax. People have their creature comforts for sure.
Okay, thank you so much for the time. I know it was very difficult to set up all this, and we wanted to surprise you with this.
Oh no, it's awesome. You're very awesome. Yeah. I'm glad that we stuck by it. So thank you a lot for the interview.
Thank you, because we wanted to give back some love because we loved so much the game. And in a personal note, I would like to thank you because it's notorious the strong female presence on the game. And we know that it's very difficult in this industry to balance sometimes the male and the female characters, so we strongly appreciate that effort.
It's our pleasure. It's only right. It's only the right thing to do. So,
thank you so much for your time.
Thanks to you. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.